Hello and welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. You are listening to And Another Thing. We are Joella and Helen. Joella and Helen.
Fucked up the names again. I'm Helen.
I'm Joella.
Okay.
And this is episode 4.
What a good start. You know why it's throwing us off?
Why?
We normally do this after work
Yes.
in the afternoon. And here we are.
Early on a morning.
Early morning, cup of coffee.
Yeah, we have switched things up
Yeah,
today.
different place of recording. So we're at my house today and I'm dog sitting this week. So he's a very quiet dog, but you never know. You might hear the odd.
You might have the odd sound.
Yeah, from Koopy. So we have exciting news this week.
What's the exciting news?
Oh, it was so exciting when it popped up. We got our first email.
Whoop, whoop.
To our podcast email. Oh, it was so, I was like, what? Quickly opened it. And the person that emailed us said that they just listened to episode 2 and they were loving it.
Great.
They commented on the mildly inconvenient burger. Oh my
The
God.
mildly inconvenient burger.
It was delicious.
I wonder what a mildly inconvenient burger would be.
This is too early for this. Burglar.
Yeah.
And she said that she would steal a bread knife.
Oh. What kind of bread knife?
Serrated.
Like when you're chopping the loaf of bread or when you're smothering your butter
Oh,
onto
no,
your
not
bread?
a butter knife, like a serrated cutting the bread knife.
Okay. Do you call it a butter knife?
For spreading my butter, it's a butter knife, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, the knives that we have at work are similar to a butter knife. When people come up and say, do you have anything sharper than this? And we're like, no, that's our knife, because they don't really cut things properly.
Right, because they're just a knife.
Actually, those other knives in the kitchen, the black ones those are more of a butter knife because they're just smooth. They don't have the ones that you use for avocado.
They're kind of like a spatula, those ones.
Oh, no, they're butter knives.
What?
The black-handled ones, they're boring, sorry. We'll talk about this later. Anyway, the lady that emailed in was a serrated knife that you would cut your fresh bread with.
Okay, so that's what she would steal.
Yeah, so then
It's
if you
her
got your
mildly
fresh bread
inconvenient burger
and
life.
you're trying to cut it with a normal knife, honestly, you would squash that bread, right? I've made you laugh. Anyway, so that was that, and also mention the tea, which we've had.
The kettle pole.
The kettle.
This kettle pole.
Say tea pole.
I don't know.
Last week we just had 2 people. We were like, okay, and now we've got more people.
People are coming at me.
They're coming at Joe.
They really are. I'm really sorry. First of all, my apologies to the fact that I don't mean to include Canadians in with Americans. That's my first apology. I do recognise that they are very different countries. When I'm saying the kettle pole, I am expanding the North American continent. So I'm explaining the continent, not the countries. My first mistake, apparently. And then
Well, there'll be many more we'll get beefed for.
probably many more. But hey, come at me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Whatever.
It's about tea. I mean, I can move on with my life.
So, yeah, we've got more interest in the teas and the kettle pole. I keep saying tea pole. I keep changing it to tea pole, but
It's all right.
I don't know, whatever.
It's both
anyway,
of them.
keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
Keep it coming, and we'll maybe down the road we'll be able to tell you who the real winner is, because right now it's tipping in my favour.
It is tipping in your favour.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're always curious. Do you have a kettle in your house? Where are you from in the world?
Yeah.
We'll just expand it. Let's go outside of the North American continent. Who has a kettle in their house?
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I posted a picture of the collapsible kettle if anyone's interested.
What it looks like?
Yep, very flat. But and where you can get it from. Well, no, I didn't put where you can get it from. Well, just Google it. Flat kettle, I guess. Collapsible kettle. I also forgot to, I don't remember which week it was now. It's all mixing together, but we said we were going at. And we never told anybody where we went at. We went to a Miles Smith concert in Toronto, new venue for us, which was nice. I like the venue. Anyway, but I needed to tell you, because there's always a story when we go at. I got in a bit of an argy-bargy while we were there.
It's such a great story.
With somebody that we named Felicity. No idea what her real name is. we got in the venue and we were told the best place for us to stand because we weren't really going to go down front.
And it was a standing venue. There were no places to sit in this entire...
Oh, apart from upstairs.
Which you had to pay for.
Yeah,
but
which we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
And there was 2 people taking a selfie. I did recognise that they were taking a selfie, but it occurred to Joe that might be their spot. But I was seeing this spot next to a smaller lady because I'm like, oh, good, I'm going to be able to see. And I kind of snuck in the spot. But they weren't just taking a selfie in front of the stage. That was their spot. They had eyed up that spot. Don't dilly-dally. Don't dilly-dally taking your pictures. Just get in. So I snuck in this spot and soon to realise that, okay, she had wanted to be there as well. And she just swore. She's like, oh, fucking cheek. Who does that kind of thing? She don't know who does that.
Who does
on
that?
Me. Then, so I'm like, oh, she's pissed. And then she started to push, like I could feel her.
Coming up against you.
Oh, definitely. And it wasn't just like,
you.
and there was no need for pushing. We weren't in such a crowded situation that would happen. And I'm like, oh, she's really pissed. And I could hear her, like, I could just feel it. And I was like, I'm not moving. Use your words, lady. You can use your words. And plus, I'm British and a little bit stubborn.
Just a little bit.
So this continued for a bit. And then she coughed deliberately in my ear, like a proper...
And it wasn't like
cough.
Like a sick cough or, one of those clear throat coughs. It was a genuine, because I was standing right next to you. It was a...
Yeah, right in my ear.
Right in your ear.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So I just whipped my head round and said, do you need me to move? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, well, you don't need to be a bitch about it. And she said, yes, I do. And I was like, is that because you were born like that? And then I stepped away. It's a good job I don't drink anymore because that would have got a bit more argy-bargy. Anyway, we found the comedy in it and we were just laughing at her. We didn't move. We stayed down. Like, I'm not moving because this is a good spot.
It was a very good spot.
We could both still see.
So I just saw the whole entire thing unfold. And then when you said, is that because you were born like that? I was like, oh, Helen, what are you doing?
I had to have a response. I couldn't leave that when she went, yes, I do. I'm like, no. I need to say something.
It was one of those moments where, as an outsider watching it, and I thought, this is the most entertaining, petty thing that I have seen witness.
It's so true.
Because the way that she responded, like, you're in a public venue, you're all vying for the best spot to be able to see somebody. There is going to be a little bit of argy-bargy that goes on, because this is the other thing too. This is another funny story. The girls that were right in front of me, there were 3 girls, and there was a bit of a leaner, there was a bit of a shelf, and underneath the shelf was a rubbish bin or a garbage bin. And there was a woman that was standing next to me, and she said to the girls, can I just move that bin a little bit underneath the shelf and then I can stand right there? And the girls said, well, sure, but I'm not going to move. And the lady was like, that's fine. I'm not asking you to move. I'll just move the bin over. She moved the bin underneath the shelf a little bit and tried to move forward. And over the series of the next 30 seconds, the girl in front of me started to ease the rubbish bin back.
Oh my God.
So that the woman couldn't stand right next to her. And I was like, the pettiness of the small moves just to stand in a venue that we've all paid to be there for.
That's a genius move, though. I like that move. To be fair, I was being petty too.
You absolutely were being petty, which just tickled me so much because I just
knew
laughed.
When she started to push, I could have just turned around and said, oh, I'm so sorry, this was your spot. But I'm just like, no.
This is my spot now.
I'm not. In fact, she didn't really watch the concert. She was on 2 phones.
No, she was on her phones the whole time.
She was very entertaining to watch. And then she dropped her phone, picked it up, then she took her jacket off and she hit me completely by mistake. It was nothing to do. I mean, it was all over at this point. And then she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's no problem. And she said, you could stand in front of me if you like. Oh, well, it's a bit late now. Anyway, that's where we went. That's our argy-bargy story. So
it was actually, for the concert itself, phenomenal concert.
Yeah.
Well worth the visit. Miles Smith is amazing live.
He is amazing,
he did such a great job. And he came on and he said that he just had food poisoning 24 hours prior to coming on stage. And even with that,
an IV or something before he started.
Yeah, he was great.
He is great. Okay, I need a bit of coffee before we can move on because it's too bloody early. Yeah.
Oh, we'll take a break. And we're back.
Okay. Feels
from
a
our
bit
coffee
better.
break.
Yep. Coffee break. That sounds funny instead of saying tea. Coffee's needed in the morning. Can't start with a tea. Anyway, carry on. You have something to say.
Oh boy. So I'm currently running on very little sleep this week. I've had a few later nights, and so
Well, this podcast has caused this.
I'm just taking on a whole entire another job as well as my everyday regular job. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rush to get 3 out, wasn't it?
It was a
You
little
did
bit.
it. I'm very proud of you. You did it.
Thank you.
People will be happy because they're now listening to 3, but if you're slightly tired.
I am
because of
slightly tired. It was a bit of a rush this week. So I do apologise in advance if my words get a little slurry. And then also I easily laugh because I think it's my go-to when I'm a little bit tired, especially when I'm with you and we start telling stories. I just
That
laugh.
is true. At work, that's true if we're tired.
Yeah.
And something really small happens and
You just get the tired
giggles and you just, I have no idea why I'm laughing, but this feels good. This is what I need to do right now because we're so
Maybe it's
tired.
your body's way of just
And
releasing
yesterday
all
we
of
had
the
we had a rough day yesterday.
We did.
We were short. It wasn't really rough, but we were short-staffed. And then the couple of people that we did have were slightly newer.
Mm-hmm.
So we were running on kind of four of us.
4 of us.
Yeah, really. And guiding some others. And we had a really steady day. So it was mentally challenging. And then you had to go home and edit 3. So no wonder you poopered.
So on that note,
Mm-hmm.
this little bit of a conversation I've said to Helen before. Well, I don't think I've said it to you before. I've had other people say it to me. Oh, you work in a cafe? Oh, that's so cool. I would love to own a cafe one day. That's just my dream. It just sounds like the best idea ever. And I think that there's a romantic notion about hospitality life, which, not to burst a bubble, and that's not what I want to say, but I think there is a lot of Hollywood doesn't do any justice because they'll have this romantic picture of these beautiful cafes and then people who just look all prim and proper. You know, sometimes I look at cafes in movies and I'm like, you don't have a speck of flour? And why are you wearing those clothes? And I'm sorry, who the heck is wearing heels behind the counter? This is just not real. I don't know who has time in the morning to make your hair look all prim and pretty like that, but...
And your full face of
And your
makeup.
full face of makeup and your 9-inch nails, and that's not right, but
No.
9-inch heels.
Yeah. I say that to people in interviews
What do you say?
that working in a cafe isn't going to be easy, just so you know.
And that's such a great thing to say because I don't know why we've got a romanticizing notion of it. Even at one point, I think I did too. Of sometimes I do romanticize of thinking I'd love to own my own cafe one day. And then I look at myself and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what the realities are. You grew up with this.
Yeah, well, because they look cute and lots of people are enjoying themselves. So I guess the customers that have come in might have that experience. But
Which is great because
yes,
that's what you want
that's
to
what
create.
you're creating.
And maybe we've kind of created a rod for our own back in the sense of working in the environment and then creating an environment where customers say, oh, this is such a great place and I wish I could work here and I wish I had a place like this.
Yeah.
So maybe we've done our job really, really well.
Yeah.
But when you look at the bigger picture, so I just said I grew up in it. My mum bought a restaurant when I was 12, and from the ages of 12 to 15, I worked in the restaurant with her. And then also, I was the youngest of 4 kids. By that point, most of the children had left home, and the last one left had her own life. And so it was just kind of me at home a lot. And then my mum worked late, and then my dad worked late. And so as a kid living in a hospitality home, your parents are always working. Holidays mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a life.
That is your life.
Yeah,
The
that is
restaurant.
your life. And so it is hard work.
Yeah.
You're working on the public holidays. Also, if you think about cafe life, those are the days that as a business you want to be open because everybody else has the day off. And so what are they going to do? They
That's
want to
right.
go out.
And sometimes on those days, people can get a bit pissy because it's busy. And it's like, well, you know, like, what's your problem? We're the only place open. And I've been trying to go to the toilet for the last 10 minutes. You know, you're worried about a table. I really need to go for a wee. And every time I go, there's somebody in the toilet. So that's...
So another opener to how it's not romantic in the notion of working in cafe life is that, yeah, you will be rushing off your feet and you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, I have a very full bladder and can I go to the toilet right now? No, I
No,
can't.
and you can't wait because you just can't wait. You've got things to do.
So you've just got to Hold it in.
Yeah. Gets more challenging the older
The older you
I-
get.
That's my bad. I just don't drink very much, which is also bad.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going to have to go to the toilet all the time. And on a busy day, good luck with that.
This is another thing too. People say when you work in a cafe, oh, you must just love the food, or you must just eat all the food all the time. Or if you work with donuts, oh, you must just eat all the donuts all the time. That sounds delicious. I wish I could be in a place like that. Do you think we have time to stop and eat?
Plus, do you want to eat? It's true what they say. You work in a chocolate shop, you won't eat the chocolates.
Yeah.
So it's true. We don't want to eat them. We smell like the food that we serve. You just don't want it at the end of the day. But also people think that it's a lovely place and, oh, I would love to work here. They don't see you behind the scenes. They don't see that you have to eat one mouthful of food and then rush off to do something. You've never, well, I don't sit down, but that's because if I sit down, that means it's
Game over.
over. Yeah.
You sat down, you're not getting back up again.
No, but some people like to sit, which is fair. They need to have a little break. One of the girls that works for us said, if I didn't have that little sit down, I wouldn't be able to carry on. So it's the stamina thing. It's built over time, whether you can, just keep going. But you have to look after your staff and make sure that they do take time off their feet because it's hard.
But sometimes as the leaders of the shift, we don't ever sit down.
No, you look after them before you'd look after yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just have a question for you. Do you remember last year when it was the air conditioning broke?
Uh-huh.
Super hot.
Can't forget that one.
Yeah, it was not a nice experience.
Over summertime, by the way, let's clarify that. The air conditioning broke over summertime. Canadian summers, which also surprised me when I got here. So hot.
Yeah, humid.
So hot, so humid. Anyway, so no air conditioning, middle of summer in a cafe, and we can't open doors.
No.
Well, first of all, we don't really have doors to
There's
open.
no point either because it's worse outside.
Yeah.
Slightly worse outside than it is
And
inside.
then flies come in and all that jazz. So
And all that jazz.
And all that jazz.
But when you finally get into the washroom there and you've been wearing, well, it doesn't apply to me anymore because I wear shorts now, but when we used to wear jeans and you take everything down, but it's been in the same position for ages, it's like taking like a wetsuit
off.
Oh. And then when you pull it back up again, you can't get everything in the same nooks and crannies, and then you just feel so uncomfortable again.
So uncomfortable.
Do you experience? That's the same thing you experience. I hate that.
Yeah. It doesn't even happen when the air conditioning was down last year. It always happens.
Just happens.
It's just like when you're run off your feet and you're really hot and you've just been moving non-stop the whole entire time, and then your clothes are kind of just stuck with you, and which is really unfortunate because if you've got not the best underwear on and they're just riding up in all the wrong positions, or if you've got a wrong sock on and it's like your sock isn't pulled all the way up, or it's like starting to fall down, or if there's just some small uncomfortable moment,
and
it's just
the
stuck
wire
there.
that time you had the wire in your, that was me, not you. The wire poked out. We had to put a Band-Aid on top of the wire of my bra because I'm like, I can't work anymore. It's just digging in. It just kept or I should have taken it out, but then I would have just been a bit lopsided. This is too much information for this time of day.
No, not at all.
Anyway, if you feel uncomfortable in any way,
you just have to carry on.
Yeah, but it's
and so
horrible.
then when you do go to the toilet, you've got those moments of like you've got to basically like unstick yourself from your body.
Yeah.
And then you've got to stick yourself back up again, and it just doesn't all fall in the right positions. This is my next bathroom question. When it's been really, really busy and you go to the bathroom, irrelevant of whatever is going on in the cafe, do you take a minute and just think the door's closed, I'm going to pretend that I don't know what's going on and I'm just going to breathe, and I might just stay in here for a second later than what I need to? Or do you just go and do your business? All right, I'm going to go, and then just carry on. Like, how do you ever take a minute to just think, the door's closed, I'm going to pretend that I don't know what's going on right now, and I'm just going to be like,
No, I don't do that. First of all, I go in, sit on the toilet, and then
double check the door's locked.
Immediately a check. Did I lock the door? Because it's the door is a distance from the toilet. It's not like one of those where you could hold it if someone tries to come in. And if the door opens, hello everybody, eating your lunch. It's just like if you're sitting at that particular table.
And that has happened before. Not to us, but we have walked in on people who have not locked the bathroom door.
Yeah. I don't like it's every time. It's like, have I locked it? And then I'm just quick in and out. And then I have to check the bathroom. Like I don't just go in the bathroom like I'm going out in some other establishment where I do my business and come out. I go in the bathroom, I sit down. Is there 2 toilet rolls there? Is there enough paper towel for the rest of the day? Did the last night's people fill up the soap? So then if there isn't, then I'll come out the bathroom quick and I'll go to the cupboard and I'll fill that one and I'll try and check the other one if it's not busy. And then I'm back at work. So that's my toilet.
That's your toilet.
My quiet little time is if I have to run downstairs and get something because we have stuff in our basement. And then, because then it is quiet, you just hear the chairs scraping a bit upstairs and the water, but you can just collect your stuff and you're like, okay, this is a little,
Yeah.
No,
and
I better
it is
get
actually
back
also cooler down in the basement
yes,
too.
it is. So it's nice. And you've got a little bit of wind in your hair while you walk around the corner outside. It's like
A little bit of wind in it.
So that's the quiet time. And then the most favourite time is at the end of the night after all that noise, because it's noisy and you've got people just yelling, runner, runner. Like I hear runner in my sleep. And if you're the one that's, or if you're a little bit tight on people, you're running food and then you've got somebody wanting someone to run drinks and then your food, drink, dish, it's just like you're everywhere.
You are non-stop all
runner,
the time.
and you're like, oh my God, only wash one dish and you already want another runner. That's just
the
how
nature
it is.
of the beast.
But at the end of the night, when you say to the last person, you can sign out now. Thank you. Everything's done. We've had a great day, blah, blah, blah. There's no music. And sometimes I'll just sit in that chair next to the desk before I go home and just listen to nothing.
I like it when I've sent the last of the kids home and they're like, are you sure? You're like, are you okay doing the last things? And I was like, yep, I actually really am. Can you, like, I would like everybody just to leave now so that I can do the last walk around by myself when there's no music, like you just said. There's just nobody and it's quiet.
A little reflection of the day, how much, because those are the days that you've normally done a lot. And it's like, we did really well. There was only this thought that went wrong. Or then I'll sit down and then I'll just listen to nothing because I know that when I come home, the TV's probably going to be on and there's like some banging around and I just need that
moment of quiet.
Yeah. Really need that quiet. I think I don't know if it's a getting older thing, but your nerves are not like, sometimes it's just too much. If you've done like 10 hours of that, you need longer than a little 5-minute sit down, to be fair. But yeah, it's very much needed. And sometimes it'll be like 8:30. I go to bed really early anyway, but I'm like, I just have to go upstairs. I just need no stimulation around me. It's weird, isn't it, how that happens?
I don't think that's an age thing.
That's just
I think that's just a human experience thing, because I'm just thinking, like, imagine if you are in the middle of being the beginning of motherhood and you've got 4 little kids running around and all you hear all day is noise.
Okay, yeah.
And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just you've got constant noise. You've constantly got to be on. You're just on all day.
So maybe it's at a certain time in some people's lives, whether it's motherhood or a job. But I feel when I was younger,
you've got the capacity to do that a little
definitely,
bit more.
because you could go out clubbing, sleep in the back room of wherever you work, get your alarm and start working straight away. That's when I worked at the airport. So, yeah, you could go from one to the other without it being a problem. But then all of a sudden it is a problem. Like, it's like, oh my God, I just
Well, I think
the
the age of stamina, or the way that our bodies are able to actually maintain that sense of high-paced stamina energy changes over time. Because my reality was a little bit different in the sense that I used to work at a bakery in New Zealand. So by trade, I'm a baker. In New Zealand, I would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd be at work at 3 o'clock in the morning. But at that point in my life, I lived with a lot of people, and all the people that I lived with were university students. And so I didn't really get to see them or hang out with them because they'd go off to university and then they'd go and do late classes and they wouldn't get home until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And so for me, as a young 20-year-old, I was like, I haven't seen the people that I live with and I want to hang out with them. And we wanted to hang out together because we all got along.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't be until 10 o'clock that I would go to bed. I'd have to get up at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's 4 hours
tough.
of sleep.
Yeah.
And I did it for 3 years.
And you could do it.
And I could do it.
Yeah.
This is not me partying. This is just me hanging out with the people that I live with.
Well, it's the same with shift workers, I guess, because otherwise shift workers miss out on so much.
Yeah.
Like when I worked at the airport, I'd have to get up at 4 to be there for 5.
And you just do it and you can do it. But I definitely noticed when I hit the 25 mark, things just started to shift. And I couldn't quite do the 4 hours of sleep every single day. It kind of started to reduce a little bit where I was like, oh. And now I go to bed after midnight and then I wake up and I have a migraine for the entire day afterwards. Anyway, it's not a short conversation about the romanticizing of cafes or what it's really like. So I'll recap it like this. Clearly, we're doing our job really well. If people come into an environment and think, this looks like such a great place to work, I wish I had a place like this to own. This sounds lovely and looks lovely and So clearly, we're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Whoever's creating the environment, you're doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But also, when you look behind the veil and you actually get to see the realities of it, is that you are on your feet all day. You barely get a time to take a seat. You barely get time to eat. You are dealing with humans.
Which we know how much fun that can be sometimes.
Yeah. You are going to the bathroom and not just sitting down and doing your business. You are looking around thinking, is the toilet roll filled? Is the soap filled?
Yeah, it's not just physical. Like when you're holding the whole ship together, it's mentally, we've talked about this before, the capacity in your brain at the end of it is like you are done. Like we've just done this huge day and you've mentally looked after everything from toilet roll to salt shakers, which reminds me they need filling. But
so if one of your staff members is actually just not doing well and they've disappeared, then you're dealing with another emotional level because you're like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, they've reached their limit.
Do you need to take a minute?
You need to go to the bathroom and take a breather. Which I know some of them do, but I know it's needed.
Yeah.
Because you look around and you're like,
where are they?
Where are they?
Where have they been for the last 10 minutes?
They're just in the washroom. I'm like, okay, they're just regrouping.
Yeah. Which you need.
Recapped perfectly.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back from our break.
It's a long break, actually.
Unbeknownst to you, because you just had a doodle-doo-doo-doo. We've gone out for a walk.
Yeah. We're a little bit more awake.
We are a little bit more awake.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So this is really for us, it's really like a part 1 and part 2. You get the morning us and now the
slightly more invigorated.
We're awake.
I had an appointment to go to. We've had another cup of coffee. We've gone for a walk. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yes.
Right, what's on the agenda?
We're back with a funny. I've got a funny story to remind you of. It was a few weeks ago now, quite a few weeks ago. You were in the kitchen with Milo, the famous Milo's Question of the Week Milo. And I came around the corner with dishes and I heard Milo say tits. I thought I heard Milo say tits.
Right.
And I'm like, did I hear him right? Did he just say that? Because that's not Milo's style.
No.
So I was like, what's going on? What's this conversation? But then I heard you say, oh, I know Milo. They're so big and annoying and they just get in the way. And I'm like, they are talking about tits. So I asked you, I'm like, are you talking about what I think you're talking about? And you said, no.
Well, I think I said, what do you think we're talking about?
Yeah, I said tits. And you went, no, we're talking about oven mitts. So I'd heard tits instead of mitts. But when you described the oven mitts, which are big and annoying and get in the way, I thought you were talking about your own tits. It was just perfect timing. I come in on the end of conversations all the time and pretend I know what's going on and join in, and that's usually wrong.
Which sometimes makes the conversation even funnier because
funnier.
You're like, oh,
yeah.
And then we're like, no, that's not what we were saying.
I do that with the kids all the time. Anyway, so that's my funny oven mitt story. I think even when I was describing it to you, Milo was like, What? What's going on? And then we started talking about the fact I thought it was tits, and he's like, oh, and like retreated back because he didn't really want any part of
Didn't
that
really want to hear the rest of that conversation. I wonder if this is also with working in our environment. There's a lot of females that work behind our counter. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I do wonder about the poor guys that work with us because there are some conversations that are just open for anyone to talk about.
Yeah.
And then the guys kind of get like caught in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, sorry.
Although we have been educational with some of our younger guys.
We have been educational to some of our younger guys.
So they have then come back and asked questions and we've answered them.
Yeah.
So it's not something that they might have spoken about with their parents or would have found out. So now they know.
Now they know.
We feel better for that. So I have an annoying thing to mention that's been happening in the restaurant.
Okay.
Our restaurant is set up so that there's table numbers on the tables. We already know the numbers of the tables. The table numbers are only there for our guests. And our prime spots are by the window. So everybody wants a window seat. So I've sat somebody at table 25, which is in the middle, not by the window. And they have seen that table 2 by the window has become free. Mm-hmm. So they think that they're clever and they want to sit by the window. So they have walked over to the window. They've taken table 2 off and they've put table 25 on. Mm-hmm. And then they've put table 2 where 25 is. And
so they've switched the table numbers around thinking that they were helpful in changing.
And then table 25's food is ready and we go over to 25. Oh, it's just, I've said this all the wrong way round.
No, you got it right.
I keep getting it mixed up in my head.
We go over to the original table where we think they should be.
Oh, yes, and they're not there.
Because we don't need the table numbers.
We
know
sat
exactly
somebody
where
else
all the
at
tables
25 since they've moved. That's what's happened,
And so we've kind of sat everybody where they need to be. The only reason we've got these table numbers is for our guests to say, you're going to go over to that table. Instead of saying, what table? Where? The one with the sparkly unicorn on it? No. The one that has 25 written on it. That's the table number. So as servers, we know exactly where we're going. You're going to table number 2. Great, I'm going off in this direction. Or you got food for 25, you go off to that direction, and you got to 25 and you would have said,
Here's your whatever it is.
Whatever it is and whatever it is.
And they've gone, like, no, it's not mine.
That's not my food. But you're 25.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's so annoying.
Do you want to carry on with the rest of your story from there?
Sorry, I was getting mixed up with where I was taking the food. I was telling the story in my head. See, and that's not their food. And then you see people at table 2 waving and pointing at their 25. And you're like, well,
why did you stuff the system up? Because even when Helen's trying to tell the story later on, many, many weeks later, she still gets confused.
That's so true. So then I'm like, to the 25 that I'm at, which is now table 2, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see that the number had changed. Or there's people by the window. So then I go over by the window and give it to table 2. Oh, we removed the number. We thought that would be helpful. No. It's not helpful.
And then also you look like utter dick to the original table that, you know, they got told to be sit at table 2, but it's actually table 25 and they've got table 2 sitting up there. They're like, well, why are you coming to us? It clearly says table 2, but they don't know it's actually 25 that they're sitting at.
Oh, it's so annoying. And they're happily waving the other people like, oh, we're here. Don't move your table number. It confused me then, and it's still confusing me now. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's still a better system than we used to have, even with these people that think moving the numbers because they don't like the table that they've picked at. Mm-hmm. Because we used to give them a table number that was flat, and we'd say, put this on the edge of your table.
That's right.
The edge of your table.
And then they go and put the handbag on top of
So then, number. Because the tables were all so random, because we didn't have them set like we do now, we were walking around the restaurant looking for table 25. It could be anywhere within our system, and you can't find it because it's under someone's bag, or they've decided to sit, like not even put it out, sit on it. So then you're yelling, table 25, where the hell are you? Oh, it's here. It's under my book. I'm just going to wave it at you. So that was worse.
That was worse.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But now it's just annoying because we just go to the table where we think they're going to be, and then someone else is there. I think you're looking for me. Well, no, you're not at the right
You're not
table.
where you should be.
God's sake.
It pairs with when people come in and start moving tables around. That frustrates me so much.
Yeah.
It's okay if you have a table of 6 and you're going into a place and you don't immediately see, maybe they don't have space for us. Always ask. Mm-hmm. If there's not a table that looks like it can hold 6 people, don't just help yourself and push tables together. No. You go up to your server and you say, hey, there's this many people on my party. Is there space for us? Can you put some tables together? And then allow those people to do their job.
Yes.
And to pull tables together. But these old willy-nillys that come along and they just want to start pushing tables together because,
I know.
oh, there's 3 of us. So 3 of you can sit around that table there. You don't need to push 2 tables together and have us lose business because you've lost us a table.
Yeah, because you spread yourself out.
Yeah. Goodness
But
gracious.
I can be in the dish area and I can hear tables moving and I'm like, huh,
You're out there as
What's
quick as
going
a
on?
flash.
is that us? And they're like, we need a table for 6. I said, well, we're on a wait. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
Will I be able to get a table? I said, well, I'll do my best. I mean, sometimes we carry tables from a different location that's further up the restaurant and move it down so we can accommodate people. We do everything we can to accommodate people, but don't come in on a busy Saturday
And help
and
yourself.
start moving your tables and chairs around.
Nope.
Because first of all, we might have 2 tables, but we might not have enough chairs.
Yeah.
Because that sometimes happens.
That does sometimes.
Because people are moving those chairs all about. Oh, yes. Leave it. Would you go somewhere and not that restaurants normally have table numbers on the table, I guess. If you're going out, the host will take you to the table.
Yeah, but that's different. That's more restaurant vibes where you do kind of go into a restaurant and you do get seated. And you get seated into this particular server's area. So different restaurants.
You're not going to move seats.
Yeah, a server will be allocated these particular tables and they're responsible for those tables, and then different sections are run by different people. But that's definitely restaurant life. That's not so much what we do. In cafe, I do understand that cafe life is a little bit more flexible in terms of sometimes people just come on in and think they can just take a table and then I'm going to wait until the line's gone down and then I'm going to go up and order.
Yeah, because it is quite different at our place, because if you go into like a coffee shop, that is what happens. But because we're doing like food, freshly made food, we need to have that organisation.
Yeah, so
Like,
we're kind
it
of a
is slightly
mixture of
different.
both. We kind of operate cafe restaurant style. And to be fair, we do operate a little bit differently than some regular cafes. But, I mean, we've got signs, we've got communication out there to kind of say, please come up to the front, please be served first.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have a host that's going to stand there, but we do have communication as best as we possibly can.
Yeah. And
So-
it's on weekdays. It's fine if you walk in and you find a table, because especially early in the day.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to say, oh, you got to come up and order first. Like, take your seat and wait for your friend. That's absolutely fine. But on a weekend, when you've just walked past a line of people and you're going to get a seat, like, what do you think you're doing? What do you think these people are doing in line? Just having a little old chat, like they're waiting for a table too. So then we have to go along and say, like, are you dining in, taking out? And then we can probably work out whether there's going to be a table. But yes.
That
It's
also
just
falls
taking
under the umbrella, I wonder, or I think, of people saying, well, the customer's always right. Someone asked me that not long ago. They said, oh, you work in a cafe. We were talking about it. And they said, do you live by the customer's always right? And I was like, no, not at all. 99% of the time, the customer is not right.
Yeah.
I get that sometimes that is an element of a saying that might work in some aspects, but no, that's not how we teach our staff. That's not how we operate our place. There are certainly times when people come in and they start moving tables around, and we are very confidently going over and saying, no, you can't do that. You got to go put your butt back in line and then go and wait your turn.
Exactly.
Just like you're 5 years old and you're at school.
You have a story. You have a story to tell today. Do you remember it? I've written it down. Table 8.
Oh. Oh my goodness. You changed so quickly.
I'm so sorry.
But my brain doesn't switch that fast sometimes. And then you're like, okay.
I
And
didn't
was like,
want the
what?
big pause that you'd have to edit out. I'm like, come on. Okay, let's do table 8.
Sometimes a good pause is a great thing. It's helpful. Oh dear. But no, this is more a funny on the experience of having a different accent. And so we talked last week about how our accents allows for conversations, and a lot of times people ask us where we're from, and because we sound so different, and then it just kind of creates conversation for getting to know people. Where are you from? From New Zealand. Oh, that's so lovely. I've been there once before. And oh, where have you been? But there are some times when the conversation doesn't necessarily go like that when you've got a different accent, like what happened yesterday. So I took these 2 items out to these 2 ladies. One was in a to-go container, the other was not. And so I came over with the thing in the to-go container and I said what it was, and they both just looked at me. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to put this on the table then. And then I handed them the other thing that was on a plate. And I said, I wasn't quite sure if you wanted this to go as well. So I've got a bag for you so that you can take it with you if you'd like. And they just kept on looking at me with this like weirdly stupid grin on their face. And I was like, Kate? And then they just said, oh, we could listen to you all day. Say something else. I was like, is there anything else that you want for the table?
It's awkward when somebody says keep talking. It has happened to me, but not very often.
And I just thought, well, that's not usually, you're not playing the correct game of tennis right now where you pass the ball over to somebody else with a question to say, I love your accent, where are you from? No. They just said, oh, I could just listen to you all day, carry on talking. I'm like, I got a little bit stumped. And then I was like, yep.
I'm busy.
Yeah. And then it was also a busy day. And so then they were like, oh, are you Australian? And I was like, no, wrong country. Oh, South African. And I was like, no, I'm from New Zealand. I'm going to go back to work now.
It was a little short-staffed today. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
Off you pop. It is weird when people say that because it could sound a bit creepy. But when you go to the table and they're like, oh, I could listen to your voice all day. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. I have had someone ask me once before. No, not ask me. But I have had someone say to me once before, oh, I could listen to you all day. You could just read the dictionary to me and I'd love listening to you. And I was like, okay. Cool. I'm going to go back to work now.
Don't want to talk to you again.
No.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say to those situations. Like, just, I don't know. Give space for a question. Just ask a question.
Then you can listen a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't make us feel like a bit weird, like we're performing. I'm sure they didn't mean anything by it because they were sweet,
not.
those
They
table
were really
mates.
lovely and it wasn't anything in that way. It was just, it's those moments when somebody says, oh, I love your accent. I could listen to you all day. One of the ones that I do love, which I've not yet been in a space where I could respond so quickly like this, but I've got it in my backpack for these moments. And it is, oh, I love your accent. Where is it from? They don't ask where I'm from. They ask where my accent's from. And so I so desperately want to say, oh, I bought it off Amazon, but I'm from California. Like, I've not had a chance to like pull it out yet because I feel like I need to say that to a specific kind of person that would actually get it and then appreciate the joke.
Can you imagine if you said that to somebody that didn't get it? You'd just be like, oh,
yeah, I'm really going to go back to work now.
You've got to make sure that those jokes you can pull off to the right person.
That's why you've got to like gauge your audience.
Yeah, which is also kind of difficult when you've just first met them and they're just ordering a cappuccino. You know what I mean? You don't know what their personality's like.
Yeah.
But that's a good one.
That is a good one. It's sitting in my back pocket and I want to use it one day.
Do you have lots of back pocket things?
Yeah, I do.
Some of them you'll never use in your life, and sometimes you have them in your back pocket and the situation's gone and you're like, oh, damn it.
This would have been in my back pocket. This particular one would have been great for that.
And you remember when you're having a shower and you re-go over like some kind of something that's happened and you're like, oh my God, I could have said that and I should have said that and that would have been great. And
I pull out my back pocket ones when people compliment my name. They're like, oh, that's such a lovely name. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I wish I could take credit for it, but it's really just my parents. And they're like, oh, that's funny.
You have so many little dad jokes in your back pocket. That's such a good one. Mine are not things if somebody says nice to me because it's really hard time for a British person to accept any nice. I'm just like, oh, thank you. Like, oh, quick, I've got to go. But if people are rude, like I've got some rude ones, like if somebody is rude to me or if something had happened at work and they're leaving, I want to say, excuse me, you've dropped something. You've dropped your manners. You might want to pick those up for next time you come in, but I've not been able to use it yet. But,
I thought you were going to go with the goodbye that you've wanted to do. Do you want to share the...
Yeah, let's see if I can do it smoothly.
See if you can pull it off.
I used to work in Knightsbridge in London, opposite Harrods.
What is that? What's Knightsbridge?
Is it
a place or
it's a place in London?
Okay.
Where Harrods is, and it's a bit posh up that end.
Okay.
And I used to work just down the road from Harrods. Anyway, there's lots of tourists in this area. I worked in a shop that sold ties and scarves and silk, so they loved coming in for the silk. So we see them coming down the road and we're like, oh, here we go. And they just destroy the place. Like we'd already laid everything out and everything looked beautiful, and they come in and the place was destroyed. And we'd have to gift wrap everything. And it was just like a 40 minutes whirlwind. And a person that I worked with then used to say really quickly, fuck you. Fuck you very much. Fuck you. And I'll be like, what are you saying? He goes, I'm saying fuck you. But because he said it in such a way and in their British accent.
And so quickly.
And I said, what are you going to do if they turn around? And he goes, I'm going to say, I said thank you. Like, what did you think I said? But he's like, fuck you very much. So I followed that on in other jobs because somebody that I was speaking to on Instagram, she reminded me that we used to do that as well. So it wasn't just there. So when I moved to Starbucks and we were working like in the airport environment, I think we would probably be able to use the same if somebody annoyed us. Thank you very much.
The same vernacular.
Have a good day. I'm too scared to do it here in case it just comes out as fuck you. But yeah, that's a great one.
I can just see it. Somebody's annoyed you and you want to say goodbye to them, but instead of saying thank you very much, but I'm not actually saying thank you very much, you just like very loudly say fuck you.
Oh, that would definitely come back and bite me, yeah. And especially if I'd called them madam in the process, we would really be in trouble. So, yeah.
Oh, so good.
So try it. You have to say it quick, though, and then...
No. That's not one that I would even attempt to pull off.
No.
Also...
You're not a swearer.
Not really. Although, no. So, my gran listens to our podcast. Hi, Gran. My gran is... forgive me, Gran. I think you're 89. Yeah, I think you turn 90 next year. So my gran's 89. She's awesome. Sends out family emails every week to update the family on things and tells us stories and is Instagram savvy. Anyway, she said that she listened to our first podcast, and so I was telling my friend about the fact that my gran listens, and I was like, oh, shoot, I'm really sorry, Gran, I swear on the podcast. And my friend was like, Joella, you swear in every podcast so far. And I was like, oh, shoot. Sorry, Gran.
I haven't really noticed.
I hadn't really noticed either, but apparently someone else did.
You're not normally a big swearer.
No, I'm not.
No.
Sometimes, though, the hospitality area just kind of pulls it out of me because some people...
Thank you very much. It does. It just depends on the day.
It does depend on the day.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Alrighty. We're going to go over to... We need a... Who does that?
Does that?
Although... That sounds like a game show. I feel like we need to say who does that in an exasperated tone because that is very much like the ba-da-ba-bub. Who does that?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Than us getting excited about it.
A game show that doesn't exist. All right.
We've done that once already with our burglar. Burger. No, a burglar. Mine is a home one.
Okay.
So I'm cleaning the bathroom and I'm bleaching the bath mat that's like in the bath, the ones with the suckers on. Mm-hmm. So I've cleaned the bath and I've turned the bath mat up the other way so the suckers are up, just so that I can put the bleach in a bit of water and I leave it in there. And then I've unplugged it and I've rinsed it, but I'm just I've either forgotten to turn it back over or I'm just letting it dry. I'm not quite sure why I did leave it still like that.
Right.
But 2 of my family members came home. Have you had a lovely day? Yes, I have. I'm going for a shower. Okay. Shower. One person showers, comes out. That's it. The second person comes in. I'm having a shower. I'm like, okay. Have your shower. They have their shower, all done. I go up there later and the bath mat is still up the wrong way with the suckers up.
Wouldn't their feet have gotten stuck in the suckers?
Well, I don't know. Like, you've just showered with the bath mat up the wrong way. Wouldn't you think,
something seems a little bit
something
strange?
Seems off here? Let me turn the... First of all, they were lucky that nobody went in and went whoop and slipped and hurt themselves.
With all that bleach that was sitting there still.
No, they had to rinse the bleach off because Scott doesn't like bleach. I love a bit of bleach, cleaning with a bit of bleach. But they both got in, stood on the bath mat with the stoppers up and were like, this is normal. Didn't turn it over. And I'm like, 2 of you have done this, not just one. Was anybody going to think about turning it over and putting it back to normal?
Clearly
well,
no.
I thought it was there for a reason.
Oh, boy.
So who does that?
Who does that?
If you got in there and it was up the wrong way, I would turn it over because, first of all, I don't want to fall and break my neck or have somebody have to come and rescue me when I've got no clothes on. That's not happening.
You don't want that.
I'd turn it up the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have
So who
turned it up
does
the other
that?
way too. Yeah. Who does that?
Who does that?
Come on.
Right, what's yours?
My who does that is something that happened a while back. We had an event at work. And so during this event, everything was put into takeout containers because it just makes for easier cleanup. So it's a little bit chaotic. There were just a lot of people around. And we tried our best to try and communicate this for our guests to say that everything's going to be in takeout, just so that you're aware. It doesn't mean that you have to leave. You can stay seated. But just for our clothes, it makes it a lot more seamless. So we still treat it the same.
Yeah.
So it was still, you can go take a seat at table 25. We'll bring it out to you. But it just, in terms of the cleanup at the end.
yeah.
Because then it's like a mass exodus. And then if you've got plates, it's like you're there for another hour.
Yeah.
Once everyone's gone. And it's a lot of work to then also do the dishes and then close the entire
Yeah, and you
store.
also don't want to be walking through people collecting stuff when whatever's going on is going on. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So we had put everything into takeout. And so this one particular night that this happened, I had taken this drink out to somebody, and then they came back afterwards and they said, so sorry, this is actually supposed to be a matcha, not a mocha. And I was like, oh shit, I'm really sorry. That was my mistake. I just read it wrong. That's on me. So then I remade their matcha, not a mocha, and I take it out to them. And as I'm taking it out to them, I have another drink. And I was like, oh, here's your decaf coffee. And they're like, no, we've already got that. So already I screwed up twice. And it was just lack of me reading the thing wrong. And then the other one was lack of communication on our part. It was busy. It just happens. So it's like, I'm really, really sorry. Here's your matcha. I'll take the decaf away. But as I'm leaving, I've got the coffee on my tray. I don't know what happened, but I walked away and that coffee spilled and went everywhere. And so there's just hot coffee all over the floor. So I'm like, I'm really sorry. I will come back. Me feeling completely like a dick on the inside because I've already screwed up twice and now I've gone and spilt coffee everywhere. So I'm like, okay, cool, awesome. This is the joys of the job. So I go back out and I grab a whole bunch of cloths and I'm coming back and I'm on my hands and knees cleaning up the mess that I've just made. And this lady behind me with her takeout sandwich, she says, excuse me, can I have a plate, please? And I turn around to her and I say, can you just give me a couple of minutes? I'm just cleaning up this mess. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so, but I just literally on my hands and knees cleaning up hot coffee, and you've got the nerve to go and say, excuse me, can I have a plate, please? Can you not see what's going on right now? I'm in full frontal view of you with my butt right in your face because I'm on my hands and knees cleaning up my mess, lady. I was like, who does that? And so then I turn around with all of my soaking towels in my hand and I kneel down to her and I say to her, I'm really, really sorry. Kneel down because there's a lot of noise going on. I want to get on eye level. And I say, I'm very sorry for the miscommunication. But on a night like this, we actually go over to takeout because of this reason. And I explained to her why she doesn't have a plate. But absolutely, I will go and get a plate for you. I just wanted you to understand we didn't miss you or we didn't do this intentionally. She's like, oh no, it's okay then. I don't need a plate. And I'm like... So anyway, I go away. But that's that moment of who does that?
Yeah.
Who taps somebody on the shoulder? She didn't even tap me on the shoulder, but who just you can see
that you're busy.
That I'm not only busy, but I'm on my hands and knees cleaning something up.
Yeah.
That's not a time to say, excuse me, can I have something? No.
That happens a lot, right? When we're doing stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
People
who does that?
Yeah, who does that? You can see that my arms are going to drop off. But you need to stop me and discuss something or ask me something. So you're full of plates and you're coming back through the dish and they're like, oh, excuse me, can you tell me where the waterfall is? And you're like, yes, I can, but I've got to go now because
otherwise
I'm
going
not
to
going
drop all
to make
these.
it.
Yeah.
But they just don't see the bigger picture.
No.
The bigger picture is
or you've got
definitely not seen.
4 or 3 plates of food in your hands and you're going over to a table that has 4 people, and then so you put the 3 items down and then they're like, oh, but we also have this, and you're like, I'm sorry, my octopus arm is left at home right now. I didn't bring it with me to work today. I just have these 2. I'm really sorry that they're not working very well for you, but I'm just going to go back and get your plate now because I don't have room.
Do you notice when you walk to tables the people that think it's their food and it's not? So you're walking past table 2 and they've ordered as well. And you walk past and they sit back up and they're like,
Yes.
it's coming.
Yeah.
And,
And then you got to walk past them.
Sorry, not yours. That's so funny because they're so excited. And you're just like, whoop, nope.
Yep, not you, not today.
So, what comes after? Who does that? Milo's question of the week.
Milo's question of the week.
Okay, Milo's question of the week is, if you could bring a musician, pop star, band, along those lines, back to their prime, who would it be? But they can't be already, they kind of already died. Because first of all, I said Freddie Mercury.
Right.
And he's like, oh, no, they can't be dead. Well, you didn't say that.
You didn't specify that.
But now he specified that they're still alive, but you could bring them back to their prime and you could see them again. Who would yours be?
Oh. Do you have an answer for this?
Yeah. I have
Okay,
an
well,
answer.
you go first because
Mine would be Phil Collins.
Oh. He would be phenomenal to watch live.
And then I had 2 though. And then Neil Diamond, because then I could go and see it again with my mum. Because the last time we saw Neil Diamond, he was very doddery, and then it was cancelled because like the performances after the one we saw were cancelled because of his Parkinson's. But I would love to see Phil Collins and Genesis, and when he was able to still play the drums and stuff.
Yeah. My brain is not working this fast to be able to answer all the question, to sift through all of the artists that I know are still alive. Because my first one would have been Queen. That would have been amazing to see them live. So then my next one is probably Elton John.
Right.
Oh, no, actually, Celine Dion.
Sorry, Elton. Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Elton.
Yeah.
Celine Dion. I would have loved to have seen her in Vegas and gone to Vegas to go and see her while she was at the Palace or whatever it was that, Oh, yes.
That's your person.
That's my person.
It's funny you said Elton John, though, because he's another one, right? It was very sad when I went to his last concert. It was very, very good. Mm-hmm. But when they have gotten older, as we all get older, when he left the stage, he sort of went up on like a conveyor belt thing, and he was holding onto the railing at the front so he wouldn't fall down, but he's going off onto the yellow brick road and he's there in his green
that's cool
velour tracksuit and he's waving, but it looked like he was holding onto a Zimmer frame. So as he was going up, and then he's waving, and I'm like, oh, that's just the oldest image in my head of Elton John.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Because it's not that he's not in his, like, I was going to say not that he's not in his prime. He's not in his prime, but
his
voice
is
not
still
unsuccessful. Yeah, and same with Celine Dion. Like the way that she's come back and been able to do what she needs to be able to sing again.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But still,
yeah,
it's not when they were at the height of their.
No, that would have been all of those choices. I'm sure people are going to message us in with theirs.
Yeah, I mean, feel free, have at it.
Yeah, have at it. This is a great question. Actually,
it is a great question. If you ever do think, I want to say what my answer would be for Milo's question of the week, then feel free. Our email address is pod.andanotherthing@gmail.com. Share us your Milo question of the week answers or any other things that you'd like to. Keep those kettle polls coming in.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. I'm very happy to be proven wrong. I can eat humble pie. It's quite delicious sometimes.
Ooh, doesn't sound like it though. You're getting a little bit snippety there about your humble pie.
Sounds a little bit like not humble pie.
We also have an Instagram, which you can find us on and follow us on. And we've posted pictures of things we spoke about last week. I put some pictures up of the ivy, and I've already said about the kettle.
We'll develop our Instagram page more and more as the time goes on. But for now, thank you very much for listening.
Yes. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
We could be back next week. We'll get some more sleep and have a good idea.
Have a good idea.